YouTubers. Oh my gosh, look at this big, beautiful baby. Oh my goodness, I was so excited and I couldn't wait to show you guys. I had to wait until the other bloom decided to open up because there are two, count them, two blooms, which is like nothing for these guys. They can throw out multiple spikes with tons and tons of blooms on each spike, but this is actually a fairly small division, so I am happy with my two blooms. So you can see the entire plant up here, which the pseudobulb, wow, I have been really bad about watering, but this guy is taking up so much water I can't keep up. But that back bulb there used to be plump, emphasis on the used to be, because these guys take so much water. And because this is really my first Stanhopea, I'm not used to all of the watering that these guys actually require. Now you might be asking yourself, well, how do you water it? Because the blooms come out from the bottom of the basket, so wouldn't you get water on the blooms themselves, which is technically a big no-no in the orchid world to get water on your flowers. I'm bad about that. I get water on my flowers all the time. It's really not that big of a deal, but I know other people are like, oh my gosh, water on the flowers, it's terrible. But okay, it's not that bad. Anyways, so I do get water on these flowers because it's just unavoidable. But the interesting thing, if you notice, these guys are actually very waxy. I don't know if you can tell, maybe a little bit of sheen right there, but if you look at them, they are actually very shiny and waxy flowers in appearance. They're not like cattleyas. Some cattleyas actually have waxy blooms, but a lot of cattleyas have that papery, feathery kind of bloom. These guys are actually very waxy. It's hard to describe. And if you notice the bloom spike, you can see that it sort of has like this scalloping effect where everything faces down. So even if you were to water, the water's not going to get caught because it all faces downward. Same thing with the flowers. Everything is pointed down into a sloped sort of effect, and that allows the water to drip off of the plant. So it's actually a really ingenious design on the flower's part. The waxy texture allows for the water to drip quickly off of the flowers so they're not staying there too long. And you can really see the sheen right here. Can you guys see that really shiny sheen, that waxy appearance? And then just the overall shape of the spike and flower itself allows for, I think it's an ingenious design to where water is not going to get caught in the blooms or the spike and rot it off. So I'm actually going to water this because it's looking a bit dry. So I will show you guys what it looks like when water comes out the bottom of the basket and ends up hitting the flowers. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this. Okay, so we just watered this Stanhopea, and if you can tell, there's not a whole lot of water on the actual flowers. So if we look at the flowers here, there is a little bit on the edges, but there's none inside the actual flower, and all of these petals are sloped downwards so that all of the water sort of drips off the entire plant. I just think it is the coolest design feature for this orchid to keep the water off of the blooms and ensure that it dries quickly. So I've had this orchid since around November or December, I can't really remember which, so I haven't had it for a full year yet, but I'll tell you how I grow it, and maybe that can help you guys in your culture if you guys do grow Stanhopeas. If you don't, you definitely need one. These are so incredibly cool. I love these orchids. Just look at that bloom. Look how much character it has. It just, it's so cool. And the fragrance coming off of this thing, I can smell it from 10 feet away. It's absolutely insane. It's not a bad odor, it's just very strong floral fragrance. It is absolutely amazing though, and I can smell it during the day and at nighttime. So That's pretty unusual for a lot of orchids. Usually they are trying to attract daytime pollinators or nighttime pollinators, so they're usually only day or night fragrant. But this one, I can still smell it during the evening hours. So this is Stanhopea tigrina, variation nigroviolacea. The clonal name is Predator. Now this is actually the lightest color form I've seen for this particular clone. The Predator clone is known for being one of the darkest clones of Tigrina, and I was pretty disappointed that this one is not as dark. This one does have the maroon spotting like the Tigrina Predator does, but let me tell you, I've seen clones that are almost a black maroon. They're just so incredibly dark. But I am happy with this orchid. I will be keeping it, but I'll still be on the lookout for the darker clone. So I grow this one in a plastic slatted basket. Wow, not a box. It just has these slats in the side. It is plastic, and it is potted in sphagnum moss, complete sphagnum moss, nothing else. These guys do like to remain moist, and if they don't get the moisture that they require, as you can see, they will shrivel their pseudobulbs. But this one will flower, and then it'll put out new growth. Now, the blooms themselves are actually fairly large. If you look at it in comparison to my hand, let me try and get my hand in there. They are about as large as my hand, so they're very, very large blooms. And like I said, this is actually a small spike compared to other spikes that I've seen. I've seen multiple spikes come out on the same plant, and they don't have to be large plants, they just have to be bigger than mine, I guess. But I've seen a little bit bigger than this have like 3 or 4 spikes with, you know, at least 5 flowers on each spike. So these things can get very, very massive. So you do want to make sure that if you do get a Stanhopea, that you do have the space in your greenhouse, because they do become quite large. Now, these orchids do not require a whole lot of sunlight. I actually keep mine in my shaded porch area. So this orchid doesn't receive a whole lot of light. It'll get morning dappled light, and then it is shaded the rest of the day. The Stanhopea Alliance, they don't need a whole lot of light, so you want to make sure that you have yours in a bright but shady location. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section of this video and I will respond to them. You can also follow me on Facebook or Twitter, and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this one in the future. Remember, on Facebook and Twitter, I will post blooming pictures of my orchids before I even make a video about them, so you can go and see past blooming pictures and blooming pictures that I haven't made a video about. So yeah, definitely follow me on Facebook and Twitter. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you.